Hi peeps, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my first full week post-COVID lockdown in Scotland, and seeing what in general your first week in teaching looks like. So do I look tired? I feel tired. So much more tired than I felt on Friday, but it's all just catches up on the weekend. So I thought I'd sort of run through my thoughts, my feelings in my first year post-probation. So now I am at two different schools. I am doing some non-class contact time, and then I am looking after a primary 2. So it's been interesting. It's an interesting sort of situation to get your head around, and I'm not gonna lie, last weekend the anxiety was high. Yes, that's my cat. Yes, I see you. So if you are feeling that you are the only one that's feeling this high anxiety, you are not organised, your head's all in a jumble, believe me when I say that 99% of teachers are feeling exactly the same way. In the first week, we are just trying to get organised, trying to work out the individuals within our classroom. It's impossible to really plan and prepare for this. I always look back and I think, what could I have done in the summer holidays that would have prepared me more? So I think probably the kind of things that I would be looking at in the summer holidays, for those of you that are desperate to do something in the summer holidays, and fear not if you are quite happy to kick back, relax, and chill out over the summer holidays. That's what we should be doing. Thanks, Smokey. That's what we should be doing, but as we know, a lot of people, we are not relaxing. We are thinking about our classes. We are wanting to be as organised as we possibly can, such as we are creatures of habit. So what I would suggest perhaps is, or what I would have done is, if you are able to, if your school is doing Emotion Works, that's a program that certainly the county is using quite a lot of, and I think just looking into that would be good. But any sort of mental health, emotional wellness, those kind of things that you can do to help your class. I feel like I'm a little bit on a catch up, but we beat ourselves up. We go, I've not learned enough about this, I've not learned enough about that. And in actual fact, we have. And we can only deal with what is in front of us at the time. Some of it we might find extremely useful and go, oh, I'm so glad that I learned about X, Y, and Z, because now I have a child who has, maybe you read up about bereavement and they've dealt with bereavement. Maybe you've read about the emotional wellness. And I mean, in this current climate, every single child is going to be dealing with sort of trying to increase their emotional health, their mental health, as are we. Being able to take time out for us, carving out times in the day, that's essentially, I've been doing so much of it, doing an emotional check-in with them, and it can be as simple as, show me with your thumbs. Now, we teach Spanish in the school, so it's a great way to fit in some Spanish, so they can go, muy bien, assez, or no bien. French's equivalent is très bien. Oh my god, comme ci, comme ça. I sort of forgot. Comme ci, comme ça, and mal. And I'm trying to think of the German. Sehr gut. Okay. I think that's a German one. And Nicht so gut. Maybe. Suddenly harking back to all my languages, and it's difficult to jump between them. So just an emotional check-in like that, or even in English, just how you're feeling. The other thing that I have been doing a lot of the stories, doing some story and milk, or story and water after break time. I have primary 2, yes, but actually I think this would be so beneficial, such a beneficial time, and I wish I'd done more of it in last year, where I actually read part of the story. Kids right up to primary 7, they love a story, especially when you put on funny accents or funny voices, and it really works. Grabs their attention. Just a little bit of bonding time, I think. That's what I've been working on. I know I'm jumping about a little bit, but just to go back to my sort of anxiety last weekend, I had done the 2 in-service days in a brand new school, brand new staff. I didn't know what I'd be doing at the time. And I knew that I was going to be splitting my time over 2 schools as well. So there was a lot to take in. The schools didn't know I was coming. I didn't know I was coming. So it was, all very last minute. So that, not having that preparation, really throws you in the deep end. But the anxiety is actually, it's more condensed, but I don't feel like it was any greater. It was just more condensed, and less time to prepare, obviously. How much time do we need to prepare? That's debatable. So then on the Wednesday, when school started, my school was actually closed due to flooding. And then on the Thursday, then I was getting into the swing of things and seeing some classes. By that time, I knew that I had primary 2. Smokey wants to see me again. So by that time I knew I had primary 2, so I was helping out in primary 2, sort of getting to know them. What was really good is that I wasn't just thrown straight into the primary 2, having no preparation. And then on the Friday, I was basically like a supply teacher for a primary 3. So that was interesting, and being able to, come up with ideas like straight away, and just being prepared for anything in that first week. So yeah, it was interesting. But then by the time that the weekend came, you've got reflection. I knew what I was going to do on the Monday, and then I knew what I was going to do for the rest of the week, or at least I knew where I was. But because I hadn't experienced it yet, it was, I found it really challenging. I was like, well, what I need to know, what I need to do. And, instead of just collecting myself, calming down, preparing the lessons, and then dealing with, as I said before, what was in front of you, the kids that are in front of you. So on Monday, I had a brilliant day. It was so good, and I had prepared, but actually just getting to know the kids, spending a lot of time knowing about them, having a bit of fun with them, interacting, building that relationship. It's something that I felt that I did well last year, but there were tweaks that I could have spent even more time on. So I wanted to get into the learning like as quickly as possible, and there is an argument for that, but especially this year, it's worthwhile just taking the time to build a relationship, helping the children feel good, because as Peter Vermeulen says, when a child feels good, then they actually learn. The learning then begins. It's very difficult for children to learn if they don't feel good at all. Now that's not about being just, adapting to every child and just go, oh, it's okay, oh, does that not make you feel good? Oh, just don't do it. It's not about that. It's about, creating those boundaries, making sure that they feel safe, making sure that they feel secure, loved, wanted, all those kind of things that you everything that you can do as much as possible, and then build on that. Positive praise goes such a long way. And yeah, just having that security. I have mentioned before in my other videos that I make sure my classroom management is as spot on as I can get it. I start off like really I don't think the word strict is the word, but basically I teach them how to line up, how I want them to line up, how I want them to tuck their chairs in, how they if they're in a line, they're quiet, there's no noise whatsoever, and any noise that murmurs up, I just get them to sit back down and then they try again until that, and usually it's maybe twice, maybe 3 times until they're all silent. And that's just simply to get them into routine about what my expectations are. When we're sitting on the carpet, we're listening to one person at a time. Something that I'm introducing this week that I didn't last week, simply because I'd forgotten about it. You've got all this information in your head and sometimes you forget, and you're allowed to. But creating a talking object, so it's not an object that talks, it's about having something. Give me a second. An object that when the person is holding it, then they are the one that's talking. It's a visual that the children can understand. You can understand that actually if somebody's holding this, they're the only ones that are talking. And it's a good reminder for me as well, because it's sometimes the case where someone's talking and then something's happening, someone's interrupting, and then I'll instead of just finding a way to quieten the person down or whatever it is over on the side, I actually am talking over and it's like, such and such is talking, it's supposed to be talking, but whatever it is, but I am actually being rude by talking over them. So it's finding strategies that will work, and that you can easily keep the distractions to a minimum. So having a talking object is really good, and just training them into knowing that whoever's talking is the person who has the object is the person that's talking, not anybody else. So that is something I'm definitely going to implement. The other thing we've already talked about are thumbs up, but also the books that we were talking about, a lot of them have to do with emotions. I've talked about the different emotions. Again, apart from using a quick thumbs up, I've actually allowed the children, I've taken them outside and we've got little signs of, joy or scared or sadness, anger, and the people will sort of run to where they feel they are at that moment. And being able to understand that lots of people can feel, can be within the same space but can feel very different emotions all at the same time, and lots of them are like, well, I'm quite happy but I'm a little bit scared, and we put them in between. I'm like, right, well, that's sort of a good place to put it. I put you guys in between those two signs. So that's what I did, what I've done for primary 2. I've done some phonics assessment, because essentially they missed out, you know, a good chunk of their year, the last term of their year, and in primary one. So there's a lot that's been missed out there. Checking on some numeracy, but essentially I've been letting them do some active maths, just getting perhaps some concrete materials. We used pneumicons and blocks, and we talked about the 10ness of 10, so all the number bonds, 3 and 7, 5 and 5. Not only that, but also the sort of the makeup in between that. So if you have 5, I've put on the table, make 5. Yes, you can make 5 with, you know, 5 singles. You can make 5 with 3 and 2, but allowing them to explore the different ways that you can make 5. And this is all the reason why I would do something like that, is so that it makes it easier for them to break things apart in their head. So if I give you a sum like, you know, what's 23 add 17, instantly you see the 3 and the 7, and you're bonding them together to make a 10. So we were working a lot on that. We were working on stories. I read, it was actually a Twinkle book called Knights and Dragons Unite. It was really good because they've got lots of resources for that. We did some storyboarding. Now the actual resource is, it's got a sequence of 10 pictures. Now that for me would have been too much for a lot of them, so we cut that down into 3. I would maybe look at 5 actually. After looking at what they were capable of doing, I would look at 5. It was hugely scaffolded. We talked through the story, then we discussed, you know, what happened first, what happened next, what happened at the end. So actually they really got it. Like, I know what happened. They put the pictures on and glued it in, gave it to me straight away. So it was good to see their sort of comprehension that way, and you know, their team team building skills, because they were able to work as a group, or other people could help them if they needed help. So yes, we did that. The other thing that I did do is, some of the children can't write their name yet, so I printed out some, I just basically made it on a Word document, and printed out their names. They're sort of in bubble writing, I suppose. They had the opportunity to colour them in, do a little picture on it. I then cut them up into strips and then laminated them. So they've got that they can pull it out. If they're not sure how to write their name, they can recognise their name at least, and they can pull out the stick, put it beside them and make an attempt at their name. But also they can use a whiteboard pen and go over their name as well, just to further assist them and help them out. So that's essentially what I've been doing this week. As the week has progressed, it's got better and better, because I've been getting more and more confident. I've seen changes in the little ones. You know, some children were really anxious and really nervous, and I've seen already that, you know, they're coming out of their shell. It's so nice to see that. It's like a major win for me when I see children starting to come out of their shell and starting to feel more comfortable. And as for me, you know, I'm feeling more comfortable. I'm feeling braver. I'm feeling more in the swing of it. Hand washing is taking up loads of time. Obviously a necessary evil, but it is taking up a lot of time, and I've got to be okay with that, because it's it has to be done, and the kids totally get it. There's Smokey coming up again. The kids totally get the reason why, and they're happy to do it. Lots of outdoor play. That's what I've got sort of envisaged in my future, and also working. I've just been looking up the autism toolbox this weekend, just to find sort of strategies that I can use within the class that will help, you know, all children at all times, or sorry, any child at different times. I think the key thing with when we're looking at strategies, assistance resources for children with autism, then sometimes we can look at the child specific, but I'm always looking in the same way that I use all my sort of concrete materials, aids. I will always make them available for every child, because you never know when actually another child will find that really useful. And it's just, you know, it's more strategies for them. But my hope is that to make the children as independent as possible, for them to know exactly where to go, to find the resources, to get the resources should they need them, to ensure that there is no stigma around it, that anybody can use them at any time, and you know that doesn't, you know, there's no harm in that, and actually it can help, or sometimes you just don't need it, and yeah, just making sure that it's just part of our routine that we do, and actually will really help some children more than others, but as long as it's available to everyone, because you just never know. It's all about that non-judgment. Anyway, so that is essentially the roundup of my week. I'm hoping to try and do something like this every week. You know that I try to get on here as much as possible. Sometimes it's just overwhelming, or I'm really tired, and it's just not possible. But I try as I might to do that, to help you guys, to let you understand that it's not just you. And those planning folders, they are messing with all of our heads. So do not worry that you are alone, because you absolutely are not. Reach out to your colleagues, and there will definitely be someone that will help. In the meantime, guys, have a great day, and don't forget to be the best you can be.